Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWitt.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about the decisions we've made in our lives that lead us to where we are, and some of the ones that maybe we would have made differently. Jill, I'm not sure there's a more important topic than this that we can talk about today, at least.
I agree. And what's funny is when I read the title of this, I took a different spin on it. So this will be really good. I'll have to quickly adjust it and come up with some things.
What did you think it meant? What did you think it meant? You probably think like most of our listeners.
Do you know what's funny? I took it as not decisions I made. I have made. I was thinking about going forward.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Well, that's kind of what I think.
Okay. Cool.
You know, it helps to talk about the past and why we're all standing where we are at the moment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's all about looking forward. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I made a super short mental list of some of the things that I think are so important because, you know, all of them our members at Land Academy and a lot of our customers at Landstay, the regular land company, they all get to us. You know, they all have stories by the time they get to us. We have so many customers at Landstay that, you know, they're kind of chucking it all and they're going to buy 40 acres from us and use it somehow. So, and that's always an interesting story.
That's true.
And our Land Academy members just want what they want to improve the situation that they're in financially. And, yes. You know, I guess some of them, it's a hobby, but most of them, they want to make some more money or some money on the side or whatever. So right. I think these little tiny decisions that you make all through along that path really affect the decision that you make to either buy property or become a member of something like Land Academy. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I heard somebody describe recently, it was I think it was a TED Talk, and somebody in the audience asked, you know, if you were starting all over, what would you do? And the person who was giving the TED Talk said, you know, I would just focus on the thing that's most important. Sit down and ask yourself, what is really, really, really important to me? You know, is this new sports car important? Should I buy a bigger house? Is that important? You know, or do I want to put a bunch of money in the bank? Is that important?
Or people, my family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or you know, is everybody on the same page in my family? Or can I be a better father? All that stuff. Mm-hmm. So let's start with you because you're the one sitting next to me.
Oh, great. Great.
Let's look forward. It's early 2016. What decisions do you want to make this year? What do you want to leave in and cut out or what's important?
Well, you know, I don't have any, how do I say this, concrete decisions right now that I need to make. So I was thinking,
well, that's nice,
isn't it? Yeah. I've kind of already picked out the next car. I'm just kind of waiting for it. I mean, no, really, I don't have it. Oh, shucks. I've already made the decisions. Now, have I acted on them?
What are the decisions you made?
No. Oh, well, the book. Well, I'm going to take care of my transportation issues. I'm going to work on the book. I'm going to complete a book. I will complete a book. I just said that out loud. I'm going to we're going to have a new show. That decision has been made.
That's the top of my list.
Our professionals have spoken.
We have been incredibly encouraged to polish up our podcast and make it a show. Well, we're not exactly sure what it's going to be yet, but it will be soon.
It might be a version of what we're doing right now.
It is a version of what we're doing right now, but it's you and I giving some version of advice / entertainment. What's that word they use? Infotainment.
Is that a word?
I just heard it like last week for the first time.
My favorite is your new topic, business fantasy. Stuart's talking about writing a book and it's business fantasy. I'm like, what is that?
Like a fiction book, like
The Firm, but with more business.
Well, here's the thing. Because this is on my list too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It would be a fictional book, and just if every single thing went from the day that you started a business.
Right.
With kind of twists and turns. And like, let me give you an example. Let's say you're a kid who's not very good at school and you don't know what to do, but you totally believe in yourself and nobody really believes in you. All right. So now he's got something huge to overcome, or she. And so they start a lemonade stand or whatever version of that is in the 21st century. And it just turns into this and that. And all of a sudden it's, it becomes an amazing situation and a worldwide phenomenon. And I think this generation of readers that probably are a little bit younger than us can really identify with that, because they've all experienced some version of something going viral that they've produced.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
a tweet, or it may be significant. It may be really, really important.
Or the kids that videotape their soccer moves and they put them up. I can't remember the name of that site. Cool. And they get all these, it's not a normal site, and they get all these like viewers and followers and stuff. So what if that's I was just thinking, is that the 2016 version of a lemonade stand? I bet it is.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Yeah. Lemonade stand's probably not the right way to describe this. You're right. But I did an outline of one, with a student, a nursing student, and she very accidentally, finds a cure for cancer. Oh. And then what she does with it, and it was all for the wrong reasons, and then she turns it all around. I spoiled my.
Wait, is this a book or is this a?
It's a book.
Oh,
it's a book. I did an outline.
I'm like, do you know this? Wait. What are you talking about?
This podcast is not supposed to be. Well, it kind of is. I have about 4 outlines of business fantasy books. One of them is about this nurse.
That's good.
She solves it all and then does some really bad stuff with it. And then.
I like it.
Well, I won't spoil it.
Okay. I like it.
I won't give the other 3 away.
Okay, cool. So, decisions you make that affect the rest of your life. That's really the topic.
Yeah.
I like
Thanks
this.
for bringing it back.
You're welcome.
No, I think that there's a few things that you can do if you're very young. And decisions that you make when you're 50 or 60 or 70 are real different than when you're 22 or 21. And I think if I see so many young kids, and I don't see it too much with our members, where I don't have all the information on our members and don't want it, but I see lots of young kids making decisions that I know are going to affect the rest of their life, and usually they're not good ones. Want some examples?
Oh, sure. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Am I in this group?
No.
Okay.
You're not 22.
Oh, thanks for blowing that. Yeah. Okay.
No, and it's more
I'm glad I'm not 22.
Men decisions than women, because I don't understand women, but that's a different topic. No, I think, let me give you an example. Here's a real example. I was an investment banker before I cut out of that and started Land Stay, and there were 3 of us there, all at different points in our lives, and the youngest one wasn't me. And he was constantly out buying newer clothes and a better car, and he lived by himself in this nice house. And finally, the older guy and me sat him down and said, "Dude, do you understand that if you go at this point in your life, you're supposed to be renting a room from some people who are awful, that are your age, that are working wherever, and it costs you $150 a month, and there's no utilities, and it doesn't matter what you wear to work because you're working with us." And I just think that you need to make decisions that, are forward-thinking decisions. Let's put it that way, instead of self-indulgent stuff at the time. That's really what I mean by decisions that affect the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about, should I go to medical school? I'm talking about, I really should just go over here and live with these guys and save $7,000 this year in rent.
Right.
It's the little tiny things, I think, and they all add up. And then everybody pretty soon standing in the mirror going, I hate this job. Mm-hmm. I got to find something else that I can do. I'm not old enough to have this kind of pain. And
then you have that life experience behind you because of the path that you're on, which will help you.
Yeah.
I like that. When you talk about, we all need, have a little, the guy blowing all his money and just stuff. There's a lot of ways that could not work in the end. So, and
this ties perfectly into another outline of a business fantasy book. This wasn't supposed to promote anything.
It's all about Steven's book. I love this. So and the new topic, who coined business fantasy?
So here's a kid. He's 19 or 20. He's awful at school, in high school.
Okay.
He just barely finished, or maybe he got his GED. I don't know. I just have the outline done. And so he goes and gets his CDL, goes to truck driving school.
Okay.
And buys a manual about how, hey, you're making good decisions now. Mm-hmm. And so he proceeds to reduce the expenses in his life to zero.
Okay.
He lives in his truck. He works for this company, and he saves a ton of money. And he's got some hobbies on the side that aren't expensive at all. Some of them are free.
Right.
And he writes a book. And by the time he's about 28 or 29, he's got so much money in the bank. Because if you do the math,
right,
he doesn't make a ton of money, but he doesn't spend any.
Exactly.
So the guy's
he's not married.
He's not married. He's not married at all. Marriage does not play into this.
And he doesn't date, doesn't spend money on anything. Okay, got it.
And he makes sure that, I'm not going to. Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
You think those things through.
Yeah.
So this guy's basically done by the time he's in his, he spends 8 years driving a truck, more than full timers to the extent that the law will allow. And he does great.
Yeah. I think
the book ends with him having the rest of his life to just do whatever he wants. And he's like 33 years old.
That's great. And he probably will never get married.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Just kidding.
You want me to work marriage into that book?
I'm just kidding. I was joking because he has so much money, and that was one of the reasons why.
There's contracts for this stuff.
It's good. So I was thinking about, the topic. And here's my 3 things I thought this was about, and what I wanted to point out is, 1, with all decisions, you have control. You have more control than you realize you do every day in every decision. You think your boss is in control of you, but they're not. You think the bank is in control of you. You think the traffic around you is in control of you. None of that. You have all the control. So let that marinate.
No, I completely agree with you. I think we have way, way, way more control over stuff than we all think. So here's an example. If you're stuck in traffic, just forget it.
Or
don't try to control it.
No.
So now you are controlling it.
Use it. Yeah. Use it to your benefit, or change something about it.
Yeah. Take a different way or whatever. Exactly. I don't stress about that stuff anymore at all.
Isn't that interesting?
I really don't.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's a mindset. And once you realize that I really am in control, I'm not working for the man. It's not my parents telling me or whoever, it's really, I'm making these decisions every day to get up and show up and be here. I'm going to take ownership, or I need to change it.
Right. So Jill and I are exposed to now, because of Land Academy and because of this show, lots of different people. And I can see in 30 seconds who's kind of contrived and who's not. And yes. I think that a lot of people who struggle with this topic, with making the right decisions and doing the right thing, have some type of, way deep down, some type of confidence issue.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. I see that often.
I do too.
It's very, and and there's no reason for it. We should all be walking around with our heads held high. I don't understand why some people have this mindset.
I'm not a psychiatrist by any stretch, but whatever it is, you deal with it and then move on.
Yep. There you go.
So
that kind of ties into my number 2. I wrote down, be thoughtful. And, I think that ties into what you're saying right now. That mindset that they put themselves in, they put themselves there for some reason.
Yeah. I just think confidence is so important. And,
it is.
Part of, it's such a cliche, but what you put out is what you get back. And I don't mean that in be nice to the checkout person because then she'll be nice back to you. Cause there's so much cliche-ish garbage that goes on. Mm-hmm. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's so much cliche-ish, weird, silly, cute sayings out there. Be nice to people so they'll be back to you, nice back. And that's not what I mean at all.
Right.
There's the rooted truth in that saying is true, but just it's so silly to not just to say it and say, yeah, I said it.
Right.
That's what I think happens.
Like karma.
No, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I learned.
Let me put it this way: if it's hanging on someone, if you go into a guy's office and it's hanging on there,
oh gosh, I can't stand that.
Then he doesn't. There's some problem.
You're right.
If he's living his life that way, then there's not a problem.
When was the last time you walked into somebody's office and they had those stupid motivational posters framed? Really?
Yeah.
Like with the airplane going up and
exactly what I'm talking about.
Jet stream below, and there's like a saying there. We all know what that is, and I'm like, I can't. Please tell me no one still does that.
You can reach the top. Wow. Reach for the stars,
Success is whatever, like, oh, that's the funniest thing. That's so good. My third point, and you just tied into it, and I love when I see this, and you and I have seen this in people very close to us, that you can reinvent yourself. So if you think you're going down the wrong path, you're making the wrong decisions, and you think you're doomed, that is absolutely not true. You can, and I've seen people kind of, and maybe with the new year, I think a lot of people get into that mindset too. They're saying, you know what, I'm going to stop doing X, and I'm not going to take this from that person, that from that person, whatever it is. You really can. You don't have the confidence. You could wake up tomorrow and just kind of make a mental decision. I've seen people do it, that, you know what? I'm going to be confident. I'm sure of myself. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to stand up a little bit taller. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes.
Sure.
And so you can reinvent yourself. So whatever decisions that you're making now, or or some that you made that you're not sure about or didn't feel great about, who knows? You can change it.
Right. I had this conversation in a group of people really recently, and I asked this question. Everybody's got a couple of things where we all have those days where it's like everything worked great.
Yes.
So I asked a few people, like, what's that day look like and what's it all about? And I said, do not think about it for very long. I mean, just answer, just react. Don't give me an answer that you think you should answer. One guy said, if my two daughters are doing great, then I'm doing great. And he reeled that off in less than 1 second.
Aww.
And somebody else said, if my house is clean.
Hey.
That's what I mean about this. There's so many things that just make people tick.
Yeah. I have a few things like that that are stupid little detail-y things that, when everything works on my desk.
Joe, that's my thing.
It's kind of silly.
We haven't even talked about this. Yeah. When everything's, you mean like
working in my computer, my IT, my phone. Oh, you mean the bigger picture?
Yeah.
When
everything's working, I'm happy.
I'm talking like the person with the clean house thing. I even have little things like that when everything works. So,
I'm learning stuff about you on this show.
You're good at this. I like when you do this. You do this not only with me, but with just strangers. So like, when we're playing the airport game, that's a whole nother podcast, by the way. But you will ask strangers, okay, don't think about it. What's your number one thing that you want to do on this trip or something like that, or this year with your family? I don't know. And you'll ask people, don't think, ready, 1, 2, 3, what is it? And they'll blurt it out. And it's so great that you get people to do that because,
it's scary.
Well, you said every single time, myself included. Well, I'm shocked. That's what I'm saying. I surprise myself with what you come up with. We should do that to ourselves more often. Like, all right, don't think about it. What do you want right now? And then whatever you blurt out, you might surprise yourself.
That's why I just brought this up, because it's these little things, these little decisions, maybe some of them are exercises that they can become. I don't know.
Yeah.
The book world and the planet is filled with silliness exercises and what I call it crystals. It's not crystal, but it's just so silly.
Right.
But I do think that there's a few things, if you can pick and choose, that are really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, when revenue's good and stuff's all lined up, and the people who work here and the people in our family where it's all working, that is when I'm really happy.
Mm-hmm.
Join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in land investment and in life. It's so fun to learn new stuff about you, Jill.
Isn't it funny?
And catch everybody off guard. I mean, not off guard, but it's honest.
I love how we do our shows. I hope based on our feedback, it seems that our listeners do also, but you and I don't really script these out. So you think anybody can tell? So
I just read on that note. I just read that some people the industry standard is that if you have a 20-minute show, you should spend 2 to 3 times the amount at that time, the show time, specifically in a radio situation or podcast like this, planning and writing.
If anyone could see my face right now, my mouth is wide open. I had no idea. Are you serious?
I'm not joking. My jaw hit the desk too, and I read that.
What?
Yeah.
You and I are like, what's the topic? Okay, give me a few minutes. Ready, go.
We spend 30 seconds before this starts. And I'm sure it shows, but people listen to it. I mean, I really didn't think anyone's going to listen to it.
We spend time.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, come on.
We write the title.
We do write the title. And you wrote the intro down. I like that.
That's
in this episode.
I can't remember anything. I can't remember lines.
Oh my gosh. And I like how you wrote your name down. You did that.
No, I don't, hey, it's working.
It's working. I think it's way more fun because then it's organic, which I'm sorry, that word's getting overused. I can't believe I just used it, but it's natural. It flows. We have fun and we aren't tied to a script. If you tied me to a script, this would be a much more, no one will listen.
Oh, I think everyone would listen.
What?
Oh, sure.
Well, if I have to read from a script, well, you know what's going to happen? The kindergarten teacher in me would come out because every time I read something on the air, it sounds like I'm reading for toddlers.
Everybody loves that.
Okay.
Well, men love it. No, you know what? That's another point.
Wow.
Did that just sink in?
No, I just got that. Okay.
I'm a man and I like it.
Hello. Today, Jill's going to
See
read
how nice that is?
4 Pups and a Worm.
What's that about, Jill? What's 4 Pups and a Worm?
Isn't that's a Dr. Seuss book?
I don't know.
One? Are you my mother?
That's a whole different genre. How to make a perfectly good children's book title become something nasty by Jill.
I have a topic that we should do for a podcast someday. Our favorite children's books and why they're still our favorites.
I'm writing it down.
Yes. Do you know what mine is? Should I tell?
But it's going to require us spending more than 1/8 of a second before we turn the mics on.
Do you want me to tell you the title and that's all I will share it and then we'll end this show?
Sure.
Okay. Mine is Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak.
Awesome.
What's yours?
Very, very, very Hungry Caterpillar.
Eric Carle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.